Hi everyone. Today we will revise some issues and some concepts from the grade 7, okay? For a good start for the chapters of the grade 8. The session of today is about numbers and indices. So first of all, we will start by giving a review about the multiple of a given number. So if we ask to write the multiple of 2, for example, what we mean by this definition and this word, multiple. So normally, if you multiply the number by 1, by 2, by 3 in order, we'll obtain the first multiple, the second multiple, the third multiple, and so on. Normally, the first multiple of 2 is 2 by 1 equal to 2. The second multiple is 2 by 2 equal to 4. The third multiple is 6. And if we multiply the 2 by 4, we will obtain the fourth multiple, okay, which value is 8, and so on. So normally, if they ask us and they give some restrictions to write for example, the multiple of 2 between 13 and 35. So normally, we should give only the multiples between 13 and 35. So we don't need any multiple of 2 less than 13 and any one greater than 35. So normally, if we multiply, or for example, if we give the seventh multiple of 2, we'll obtain 14. 14 is accepted. And all the following one are also accepted. For example, 2 by 12 is 24. 24 is between 13 and 35, so accepted. And we continue to 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th multiple of 2. 17 by 2 equal to 34. 34 is less than 35, so it is accepted. Sorry. But if you multiply 2 by 13, we'll obtain 36. 36 is not in the range 13 and 35, so normally we don't need it. And so on. For example, in the part C, we want only the multiples of 4 that are less than 65. So here we have a restriction only on the upper bound. So normally we can exceed 65. We can give a multiple of 4 greater than 65. For example, 4 by 1 is accepted, 4 by 2 is 8 accepted, 4 by 3 is 12 accepted, 16 accepted, 20 accepted, and so on. Okay, so easy to follow the rule or follow the given. So normally, if we know the multiples, how to, for example, introduce the LCM. What we mean by LCM, the lowest common multiple. So normally it is all about the multiples. And the common one, how to find the lowest common multiple. So normally it is easy to know the common is it is a thing common between 2 or 3 or among a band of numbers, for example, group of numbers. So for example, they ask us to list the multiple of 8 less than 100. So it is easy, as we said before. The multiple of 8 less than 100 are, for example, 8, 16, 24, 32, like we found in this list, for example, or this table. And also, if we wanted to find the multiple of 10 less than 100, 10 by 1, 10 by 2, 10 by, normally it is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, up to 100. And how to write the common multiples of 8 and 10 that are less than 100. So normally we can, for example, circle only the common between the multiple of 8 and multiple of 10. For example, we have a 40 and the 80 only. And what about the lowest common multiple? We have common multiples as 40, and we have common multiple as 80. So normally we have only 40, 80 as common multiples between of 8 and 10. The lowest one it is obviously, clearly, it is 40. So how about a second method? More practical than giving the list of multiples and then we search for the lowest common multiples. It is okay. It is a long story. So normally we can give any number, but for both number 8 and 10. Okay, we write these numbers as factor of primary factors. Primary factors, how? We put a here, and we know that the primary factors are 2, 3, 5, 7, okay, and 11, 13, and we have a 17, 19, and so on. Normally we start with the lowest one, okay, to try if 8 is divisible by 2. If it is divisible by 2, we'll obtain 4. If we will start again with 2, we will obtain 2, and finally 2 by 2 is we will obtain 1. If we obtain 1, normally we stop the process and we say that 8 is 2 power r cubed power 3. And the same for 10. We know that 10 is 2 by 5 and 2 is a primary factor number and 5 also. So normally, when we wanted to search for the lowest common factor, so normally, it is equal to the multiple of the common factors. If one of you think about the common factor, how to think about the common factor? Normally, it is easy. Okay, it is easy to know. Sorry. It is easy to remark that we don't have the factor 5 in 8 as common factor. But in real, we can add the 5. So multiplied by 5. So normally, if we multiply by 5, the number will give us a number different from 8, but 5 power 0, okay, exponent 0. So normally it is equal to 1. So we add it to find only the common factor. For example, we have in both number we have a 2, and in both number we have a 5. And the lowest common factors with the highest degree. So we compare between the exponents of two numbers, 2 power 3 and 2. 2, we have as exponent, we have a 1 over 2. And here we have so normally we choose 2 power 3. Lowest common factor, highest degree, 5051. So normally we choose 5 power 1. So normally it is 2, the lowest common multiple is 2 cubed by 5 equal to 40. Moving on to the HCF, the highest common factor. So in the same way, how to write the factor out? So in the same way, we write the number as the multiple of primary factors. So 20, we can say we start by 2, we'll obtain 10. We complete by 2. We obtain 5. 5 is not divisible by 2, not divisible by 3, but divisible by 1 to obtain 1. So normally 20 is 2 power 2 by 5. And 35, we know that 35 is 5 by 7. So it is easy. It is clearly easy to complete. Highest common factor. So the highest we find the common factor and with the lowest degree. So normally we have a 2 power 2 here. We don't have a 2. We can add 2 power 0. When we compare 2 by 2, the lowest degree is 2 power 0. So 2 power 0 by. We have a 5 here. We have a 5. When comparing the exponent, we have an equal exponent. So normally we choose 5. So it is a 2 power 0, which is equal to 1 by 5. By, we have 7. We don't have a 7, so we can add 7 power 0. So normally it is 7 power 0 with the lowest degree to obtain 5. So normally the multiple of the common factors with the lowest degree is 5. And you can practice by yourself the following exercises to find your level, what you have normally learned from this new concept. About the square root and the third root. So what we mean by third root and square root, normally by default, if we have a square without anything here, so normally by default is 2. And we have 3, we have a 4, so normally these 3 represent third root of the given numbers, and the first 3 numbers are for the square root. So what we mean by square root? So normally the square root is if we want to find the square root of a 9, we can say that easily which number that we put it on with exponent 2, put it on power 2, and will give us a 9. So normally it is a 3, because we know that 3, if we square the number 3, we will obtain 9. So normally it is a 3. And you should know that the square root is the inverse operation of a square, and so on. So it is very easy also to complete the following one. And 125, we can, for example, divide it into primary factor and write it as multiple of primary factors. It is 5 power 3. So normally, which number that we power it to obtain a 5 power 3? It is a 5. Easily, it is a 5. So normally, if the number is repeated multiple by itself 3 times inside the radical to the third root, so we'll obtain a 5, only 1. Finally, we should know that when using arithmetic operations, we have a priority of operations. So normally we should know that, for example, if we have this sequence of operations, normally the multiplication, the priority of the multiplication, the priority is for the powers, the multiplication and division in the same time. Then the subtraction and the addition in the same time. So if we have a power, we can find the power of 3, and we multiply it by 7. Then we add the result to 3 power 2, and so on. So normally here inside, we evaluate inside the radical, and the final step is to find the radical of the result inside the square root, and so on. So these are the important information about the lecture. Thank you for listening, and bye-bye.